2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS. When we first drove the Cayman GT4, we suggested that the lowliest motorsport-grade Porsche road car was basically a gateway drug, the sort of entry-level thrill that, as Reefer Madness warned our grandparents, would lead to more serious and expensive addictions. Now, nearly 3 years later, we've met the automotive narcotic that sits at the top of that scale. On the basis of our first hit in Portugal, we suspect the new Porsche 911 GT2 RS could be the most potent automotive psychotropic of them all. Highs: fastest factory-built 911 ever, visceral character, driver-friendly. Lows: rawness precludes daily use, sparse equipment. The name isn't hard to decode, and we understand if your first instinct is to feel that this will be a familiar story. While GT3 versions of the 911 use high-revving naturally aspirated engines to give what is almost a perfect balance between performance and grip, GT2s use turbocharged engines to deliver a more brutish appeal and a generous excess of power. The RS addendum stands for Rennsport and indicates this car's track-centric mission. Whereas the previous generation GT2 had an already gratuitous 620 horsepower. This new 991 edition moves that number up to a credibility-stretching 700 horses. Courtesy of a twin-turbocharged 3.8-liter flat-six with a water injection system to cool its intake charge. Peak torque, a modest 553 pounds-foot, is delivered to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transaxle (PDK). Unlike the GT3, there is no manual option. That's because the GT2 RS is built for speed, both in a straight line and around road racing circuits. Its statistics are as eye-popping as you would expect for the fastest ever factory-built 911. Some obsessive trimming of mass extends so far as to include both lightweight carpets and extra thin glass closely related to that used in cell phone screens. The optional weight trimming Weissach package shaves 40 pounds at the cost of an extra $31,000. With Porsche claiming a curb weight of just 32.41 pounds, although that means foregoing both the infotainment system and air conditioning. Small wonder that Porsche claims at 2.7 seconds 0 to 60 mph time, and that we estimate the car can burn a quarter mile in 10.3 seconds. The top speed is, get this, limited to 211 mph in the interest of keeping the track bias tires in one piece. All such figures are subsidiary to the one number that Porsche's motorsport engineers are proudest of, the one that defines the car's core purpose. That would be 6:47.3, the lap time the car recently posted around the Nürburgring Nordschleife to take the production car record there. That is a dizzying 31 seconds quicker than the previous 997 generation GT2 RS and 10 seconds inside the time set by the 918 Spider, a previous record holder. Meaning the $294,250 GT2 has the legs on a model that, when last sold new, cost nearly 3 times as much. It's a bargain. Weapons-grade technology. We've already told you about much of the GT2 RS's technology overload. From the carbon fiber anti-roll bars and their end links that are part of the Weissach package to the water injection system that draws from a 1.3-gallon tank of distilled water at the bottom of the front-mounted trunk. The question now is how it drives. And the answer is both with a brutality that will delight those in search of the ultimate 911. But also without the bad manners that gave its predecessors their scary characters. The 996 generation GT2 was the first to be made in significant numbers, and it quickly earned a reputation to rival that of the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter. That was the overpowered and frequently unstable Cold War fighter that, in German military service, crashed often enough to earn the nickname of Widowmaker, a moniker that was applied to the GT2. The 997 generation GT2 and its more hardcore RS spin off were both less wayward, but still needed to be treated with the respect fit for a tetchy mafia capo in anything other than perfect conditions. Which makes it all the more remarkable how easily one can deploy the new model's enormous performance, both on the road and in its native environs of a racetrack. Money is not wasted here on comfort or fripperies. The GT2's cabin is sparse and can be made positively Spartan if, as Porsche had done with the Weissach pack examples provided for our drive. The air conditioning and infotainment system have been deleted to pare mass. Even in the modest warmth of a Portuguese autumn, the cabin becomes too hot when ventilated using only ambient air. Standard carbon fiber bucket seats with fixed backrests brace occupants at an angle suitably upright for motorsports. Even if fully equipped GT2 RS lacks many amenities that come standard in the cheaper, plusher Turbo S. With the doors using fabric pull straps instead of handles and most of the button spaces surrounding the gear selector being blanks. Strangely, although the Weissach shift paddles have been swapped to carbon fiber to save a reported 0.